Do you agree with me? Is this game is for the 1 seed in the NFC? Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out what the Niners.
Who's going to take it? Kirk Cousins?
Sure.
He's going to take it. The 49ers are 3-3. This is the 1 seed, baby.
I mean, it's wild. It really is. Niners and Chiefs, I know, are going to get all the Fox love this week, but you're right. This is, to me, the best game on the card. And these teams are playing great football, and there's the chess match that's going to go on, and they're both physical. I'm excited for Sunday. I can't wait.
So in this, it's so weird in this NFC North. It's the best division in football right now.
Crazy.
They 4 teams have 4 or more wins through the first 6 weeks. That hasn't happened since like the 50s or something. They all 4 teams lead the league in point differential. That hasn't happened since before World War II. Crazy. And it's a bummer that only one of these teams gets to play at home in Wild Card Weekend. And probably somebody in this division is going to fall off. Maybe that's the Vikings. Maybe it's the Bears. But somebody is going to fall off probably, right? Like all of these teams going, 5, 6, 7 seed is pretty unlikely. You got teams like the Seahawks and teams like a spicy Cardinals kind of that, maybe can go take this. But what do you think this thing comes down to? I have my answer. I talked a little bit about it yesterday on Locked On Vikings, but I want to hear yours first.
This game, I think this game,
like X factor. Like if
really,
Lions do X, they win.
I really believe that the Lions have got to just pound, and this is simple, and it's maybe very cliche, but it's got to be that Dan Campbell football. It's got to be the Ragnows, the Sewells, the Deckers. Zeitler's been good, and Glasgow. That group of 5 with Skipper as that 6th. Sort of
ridiculous that line is.
Just smashes people. The talk is Darnold, the talk is JJ, all this stuff. Aaron Jones, will he play? All these things. By the way, is Hawkinson coming back this week or no?
If I had to guess, I would guess yes, but I would be not. I would be making an educated guess. That is the goal. The goal was for him to be back basically after the bye. If he misses it, the way they've like approached this and talked about it, he actually would probably play in the short week after it. Like it's that close.
Gotcha.
So probably, and if he misses it by like a day.
But regardless of all of that, if they're pounding the football, they're running Montgomery, they're running Gibbs, and they're keeping the Vikings off the field, and then they get into the red zone and then they pound it in. That's the key. To me, it's got to be what they've been doing the last few weeks. Montgomery has been amazing. He's been fantastic. So much so that they gave him a 2-year extension last week. So that's it. To me, it's that simple. I think the Lions can throw on Minnesota. They've gotten in a good rhythm, but I think they want to start off with establishing the run, getting first downs on the ground, taking the crowd out of it, and playing that bully ball that helped them win 12 games last year. What have you been saying?
Yeah, and the Vikings want it. Like this is the way every Vikings game has gone, all 5 of them. They have been up by 2 or 3 scores at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, right out of the game.
And the only team to score on them in the first quarter, if I recall, was the Giants, who scored a field goal on their opening possession, and that's the only time the Vikings have trailed all year. All year was the opening possession of, and that was because the Vikings fumbled in their own red zone. They have been off to as hot a starts as you could conjure, and it's taken the run game out of it. So the Lions either have to prevent that from happening and come out to a hot start themselves, or they have to be willing to commit to the run down 3 scores in the second quarter, which I wouldn't put past Dan Campbell, and I don't think is that bad of an idea, but it's hard. It's hard to not feel that thing slipping away from you and want to go chase it. But for me, it is figuring out the pass rush plan against the Vikings is going to be what this comes down to with no Hutchinson. So what do they want to do? They want to just funnel this through, a practice squad call up and say, hey, we're going to get you a whole bunch of one-on-ones. Good luck. Do they want to, they've been doing that against a tackle all year long, the Lions have, because it's been Aiden Hutchinson. Do they want to say, hey, maybe Alan McNeil versus Ed Ingram? We want that to be the matchup. And we'll have everybody else do dirty work, and we're going to make things come down to that matchup. Whatever works there for the first 2 drives of the Vikings on offense, if the Lions get a ton of pressure, it's going to come down to how the Vikings adjust there. But that might also cause the hot start that the Lions are looking for. And if Sam Darnold has forever back there, it's going to come down to, can the Lions come up with a better plan on the fly? But by then, have the Vikings gone up 14-0 like they do every single time? I think it really comes down to that. Can the Lions solve their problem right now? They're coming with the plan the Vikings haven't seen.
Right.
And this is the only game where that's going to be true, where you're not going to know what the Lions are going to try to do without Hutchinson. If that works, it's going to be somebody adjusting on the fly, and it's going to come down to whether or not they can do that.
I think it's a great point you bring up. By the way, when it was 28-0 Minnesota at Lambeau, just the thought of you suplexing Peter Bukowski was just fantastic. Lion fans love that as well. I had to throw that in.
They came up short. The Packers in that game, the Packers fans and Bukowski, they won't want to acknowledge this, but in that game, the Packers never had the ball with a chance to take the lead. It ended 31-29. They kind of backdoored it, but they backdoor covered all your halftime live bets on FanDuel. But it wasn't it was not a sweat really. And if you look at the win probability, like that will show that as well. It never dipped below like 80.
It's crazy. I'm excited, Luke. This is going to be fun, man. Both games are going to be great this year, and happy for you that you got something to talk about here. This is fun. This is good. And the division is nuts. Can you believe this?
Division is nuts.
Crazy.
I feel like the Vikings and Lions are the realest teams on all of this, and I hope for our sake that like the Bears and the Packers are the ones that fall off. But it's just like the way the NFL goes, like, the way it starts is never the way it ends. Like there's just people are going to present different challenges to you and all that. But this one just feels so huge, especially because the season ends in Ford Field for the Vikings. The season ends with that. And if this keeps up, if these two teams keep trading blows from afar like this, division might come down to that one, and that means that the result of this one is going to really make a difference.
No question.
So yeah, I mean, this has immense playoff implications in mid-October. Love to see it.
Me too. All right, brother.
For Vikings Lions game, like usually we got Tom Brenneman trying to like in blowout mode by the fourth quarter. Like
I don't even know who do we have for this game. Is this a?
I can look it up, but it's probably.
I think it's Adam Amin and Olsen. Is it not?
It is Greg Olsen. Yeah.
That'll be good. That'll be good.
Yeah. That's like the noon game A team, right?
Yeah. Well, Joe Davis is doing world NLCS, so Adam does a good job. And
they got that, and then they got the Chiefs 49ers game. But,
that's the big one.
They gave us the next one.